Hello and shalom to everybody. Another year goes by, another Easter time, and I would like just to bring something to hear about this time, the time we living on, and just make a bit of comparison with these 2020 the 2020 memorial, they say memorial, particularly the Jehovah Witnesses. They if nothing it's mistaken or wrong, is they're gonna celebrate it tonight. Well, I've been checking myself some things around, and some they say the most likely that happened was on a Wednesday. On a Wednesday, not on the Tuesday, on a Wednesday. We know the difference of the calendar, okay, but I don't know, I have the feeling in me, this is honest, that it sounds to me really more on a Wednesday, so tomorrow, not tonight, but tomorrow. And actually I went online and I just find out something I can read for you about these. So, and even they say YAHUSHUA MASHIACH Last Supper was on a Wednesday. Anyway, okay. They say actually this refers to 18 April 2011. You see the differences in here. There is differences. We know that. From the Professor Humphreys says Jews would never mistake the Passover meal for another. That's what he says. Professor Humphreys says Jews would never mistake the Passover meal for another. Anyway, so, and he says to us, Christians mark YAHUSHUA HaMashiach, a part of they have Jesus Christ in here. Anyway, Last Supper on Maundy Thursday, but new research suggests it took place on the Wednesday before his crucifixion. Okay, so Colin Humphreys of Cambridge University says discrepancies in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark and Luke as compared with John arose because they used an older calendar than the official Jewish one. He concluded the date was the 1st of April AD 33. Yeah. So these could also mean YAHUSHUA, Jesus, arrest, interrogation and separate trials did not all take place on one night only. Professor Humphreys believes his findings could present a case for finally fixing Easter Day to the first Sunday in April. Just make a pause in here. I myself, I've been doing some calculations around, and it's quite a thing, really. In a short space of time, all these events took place. Is quite a thing. I think I've done a video, I don't know, probably in Portuguese language about these. They have to be very quickly, from the supper to the arrest, trial, condemnation, arrest, dragging, because it was dragging the stake, the post, until Golgotha. It takes a while. But anyway, again, we know nothing. But anyway, just based on these things, it comes to my mind that also I made my calculations because I was in Jerusalem. Yeah. So let me tell you, this It takes a time, takes some time for all the events take place, all the things. So we need to wait. That's why I keep saying, we need to wait for the millennium to start. And in the millennium, we will know for sure all these events without misleading and assumptions and all of that. That's what I can say. But anyway, let's carry on in here. So it says, a puzzle. It says, in his new book, The Mystery of the Last Supper, the metallurgists and materials scientists use biblical, historical, and astronomical research to address the fundamental inconsistency about the event. While Matthew, Mark, and Luke say the Last Supper coincided with the start of the Jewish festival of Passover, John claims it took place before Passover. This has puzzled biblical scholars for centuries. In fact, someone said it was the thorniest subject in the New Testament. He told the BBC's Today programme, if you look at all the events the Gospels record between the Last Supper and the crucifixion, there is a large number. It is impossible to fit them in between a Thursday evening and Friday morning. Also, I made my calculation, it doesn't really fit anyway. But I found that two different calendars were involved. In fact, the four Gospels agree perfectly, he added. Professor Humphreys argues that Jewish people would never have mistaken the Passover meal for another meal because it is so important. He suggests that Matthew, Mark, and Luke used an old-fashioned Jewish calendar adapted from Egyptian usage at the time of Moses, rather than the official lunar calendar which was in widespread use at the time. In John's Gospel, he is correct in saying the Last Supper was before the Passover meal. But Jesus, or Yeshua, chose to hold his Last Supper as a Passover meal according to an earlier Jewish calendar. This is from Professor Humphreys said. The Last Supper was therefore on Wednesday, 1st of April AD 33, according to the standard Julian calendar used by historians, he concluded. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, and even there is another on here before, as he says, but Yeshua, Jesus Christ, Yeshua chose to hold his Last Supper as a Passover meal according to an earlier Jewish calendar. Professor Humphreys said the Last Supper was therefore on Wednesday, the 1st of April AD 33, according to the standard Julian calendar used by historians, he concluded. Okay, anyway. This is one of the things. I've been making my own calculations, not the first time, a few times. This is not easy, of course. Again, we know nothing unless we start really receiving from above, from the true, the one source, through the way, the truth and the life, Yeshua HaMashiach, and from the Father, Abba, Yahuwah, to receive the indwelling Ruach HaKodesh. Anyway, so I cannot say this is concrete. No, not at all. This is an assumption also, making my own calculations, and this is come along with particularly Jehovah's Witnesses celebrating the memorial tonight, the 7th of April. Well, me and my family, I decide we're gonna do it tomorrow, at sunset tomorrow. Okay, so I just made a few calculations in here and try to share with someone. And as I've been mentioned, I I deliver myself to witnessing and to receive witnessing. I'm open to that. If anyone can come and say, no, this and that, I'm absolutely open-minded to enter in dialogue and get close and closer to the original, to the truth, really the truth, and not this misleading we facing so much. There's plenty of things out there completely distort the truth. Many translations of the Bible, and again I'm gonna refer more and more we come along as the Watchtower, and Jehovah's Witnesses, their translation is absolutely added and took away from the word. Absolutely. They have done, this governing body and guys on the top of Jehovah's Witnesses, they are in big trouble. They are absolutely in big, massive trouble. They took away from the word, they add to the word. Anyway, that's gotta be their problem. I keep warning, alerting many of Jehovah's Witnesses to open their eyes. They are being misled. But anyway, let's come back to here and say, so I got a kind of a chart made on my own, and I can show to you this way. Going to be up. So this is the chart I have done. Yeah. So it tells us about the 13th of Nisan, sunset. So is the end of the day 13th, and from there on starts the 14th of Nisan. Yeah, Nisan, and it goes 15, 16, 17, and he says sunset to sunset is one day, 24-hour day. Okay, so Yeshua died. This is not concluded. This is assumption. Died between the 9th to the 12th hour. I say this only because in the scriptures you can see when he mentions about the 6th hour. So from the 6th hour to the 9th hour, it was dark. The sky got really dark all around. And after the 9th hour, we don't know for sure, but after that, sometime after, he expired. So he died. And when I say between the 9th hour till the 12th hour, only because the Sabbath starts on a Friday, starts on a Friday, 12 noon to 12 noon of Saturday. That's the Sabbath. So that's the Sabbath. So that's why I say it could not be over the 12 on a Friday. Alright? So that's why I make this assumption in here. It couldn't be like many say, he died around 3 p.m. It couldn't be. But anyway, we need to wait for the Master. He knows everything. Everything is there. Everything being registered. He knows all of that. So we need to wait and see. But it's a bit doubty in here. The calculations for something in here. And we have to carry on. Of course. But again, till today, the Sabbath in Jerusalem, in particular, Jerusalem, still 12 noon Friday to 12 noon on Saturday. That's Sabbath or Shabbat. That's what it is. As I know, because I was there. I was there 9 days, and that went through, of course, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they stopped 12 noon on a Friday. They stopped and started the Sabbath at 12 noon, and he finished on a Saturday 12 noon on a Saturday. That's Sabbath. So there is the scriptures. In the scriptures say about they were very concerned about not to go over what get in the Sabbath. They have to do everything before the crucifixion and the burial, before the starting of the Sabbath. So, as I mentioned on here, it says died between 9th to the 12th hour. 14th of Nisan. Let's assume The 14th around 11 a.m. Yeah, around 11, the 11th hour, he died. Yeah, goes from there to the 15th of Nisan, 11 a.m. Let's assume 11, the 11th hour, one day. 15th to the 16th, 11th hour, second day. 16th to the 17th, 11th hour, third day. Third day. If we try to put these in our calendar for this year, if you go and check on the calendar, we have what is sunset of 8th of April to the sunset of 9th of April. Yeah, we see in here one day. Sunset of the 9th to the 10th, second day. Sunset of the 10th to the sunset of the 11th is a third day. And from there on starts straight away the first day of the week, what is Sunday. First day of the week after the sunset of 11th, what is Saturday, but sunset starts the third day. So early morning, straight away. This is what I can say to you. There's nothing too much I can say apart of these, but anyway. So as I said, I'm open to get in touch with anyone to go over these and to bring the things a bit clear. If it's not the most important thing, the most important is we carry on giving witnessing and improving in ourselves the word of truth and justice, love from YAHUSHUA HaMASHIACH, the truth, the way, and the life. Yeah? Is the one who can take us to the Father, Abba Yahuwah. It's nobody else. It's only YAHUSHUA HaMASHIACH, Jesus Christ. Nobody else. So, again, I have done this other chart in here. And it tells you what could be the times. Yeah, so the times. And the times about the 13th of Nisan, sunset. Yeah, so 7:30 p.m. Yeah, so 7:30 p.m. is the end of the 13th of Nisan. And 0730.1 p.m. yeah, starting the 14th of Nisan until 0730.1 a.m. of 14th of Nisan, 12 hours. Till 0730 p.m. another 12 hours. 24 hours day. This is the 14th of Nisan. After that, if we go again for 0730.1 p.m. after the 14th, starting straight away the 15th of Nisan. This is what it is. Anyway, an assumption is not completely. I cannot affirm these. No, this is an assumption. But I think, comparing to many things, many keep saying he died around 3 p.m. I doubt it. Anyway, I doubt it. There is plenty of things out there. They are not accurate. They are just assumptions. So I cannot go again and say, "Oh, I'm right, you're wrong." No, not at all. Not at all. In the end, I think we are all wrong because only 1, 2 they are right. Particularly the Father, Abba, Yahuwah, and the Son, the Bane of Yahuwah, Yeshua, HaMashiach, together with Ruach HaKodesh. They are right always. That's what it is. So, I would like to share with you, for those who never had the chance to see a bit more local-like, yeah, as these execution happened going back something like 2,000 years ago, 1987, 2000, 2020. I say these only because we're not really, I don't know, I didn't really make or made a really research about if the time our common era, if the time started really from the birth of Yeshua or from his death. That's the difference I try to make with some people, because this is a situation that we need to consider, if that is really, if there is everything really proof, really evidence, clear evidence about that the time what our common era was started from his birth or from his death, because there is a difference in here. If he was from his death, we are not really in 2020. We are something around 1987, 88 years now. So we should be, if that is something close, we don't know, I don't know. I just try to make the things in here, cannot affirm it, of course not, but probably we are in 1987, something like that, yeah, or probably 1993. So we need to be a bit careful in here and wait. That's why I want and carry on doing my witnessing, but wait for the Master and the kingdom, yeah, the kingdom of Mashiach, when justice and truth there will be there. Nothing like comparing to our world now. This is corrupt, filled with lies, bad things, death, suffering. No. In the kingdom of Yeshua HaMashiach, and particularly from Yahuwah, that's what it is, we will know for sure all the events. I believe very much on that. So I'm going to share with you a look-alike how possible the execution of Yeshua HaMashiach happened in Jerusalem. For those who never had the chance to see it a bit more closely, how that happened. You see, for those who don't know, at the bottom, the Ark of the Covenant, it makes all the sense. Yeah? All the sense. The blood on top of the Ark as a sacrifice for the ransom of the sins of mankind. That's what it is. It makes all, because that's what was done before with animals. Animals, they were sacrificed, and their blood was put on the Ark of Covenant. Yeah, for our sins. Yeah. So, and for those who never have the chance to have the chance to see what looks like a look-alike of the Ark of the Covenant, what is in Jerusalem, underneath still, until the appointed times, I can share with you, and a bit more look-alike, and this is really from Ron Wyatt. His testimony, his witnessing about what he saw underneath in the caves when he was digging, and he went until he found the Ark of the Covenant. So here he is, for those who never had the chance to see it. This is by Ron Wyatt, a look-alike of the Ark of the Covenant. This is what it is, by Ron Wyatt. So, as I said, for me and my family, we're gonna do the memorial of, as Yeshua HaMashiach, my Adon, asked to do tomorrow, sunset, the 8th of April. Not as Jehovah's Witnesses or others, Doesn't matter, because if you go and look, Lucas, 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 Lucas. Let's read a bit for you if you want to. On chapter 22 of Lucas. And the festival of Matzot. So Matzot is the unleavened bread. The unleavened bread. Matzot. Matzot. The Matzot. Unleavened bread. The Matzot. So the festival of Matzot drew near, which is called Pesach, Passover, Pesach. And the chief Kohanim, high priest, and the scribes were seeking how to kill him, for they feared the people. And Satan entered into Yehuda, who was called the Kerioth, who was numbered among the 12. And he went and spoke with the chief Kohanim and captains how he might deliver him up to them. And they were glad and agreed to give him silver. And he promised and was seeking an occasion to deliver him up to them away from the crowd. And the day of Matzot, so unleavened bread, came when the Pesach, Passover, had to be slaughtered. And he, Yeshua, sent Kepha, Peter, and Yochanan, John, saying, Go and prepare the Pesach for us to eat. And they said to him, Where do you want us to prepare? And he said to them, See, as you enter into the city, a man shall meet you carrying a jar of water. Follow him into the house he enters. And you shall say to the master of the house, The teacher says to you, or the rabbi, the teacher says to you, Where is the guest room where I might eat the Pesach with my Talmidim, the Passover with my disciples, Talmidim? And he shall show you a large furnished upper room. Prepare it there. And going, they found it as he had said to them, and they prepared the Pesach. And when the hour had come, he, Yeshua, sat down, and the 12 emissaries with him. And he said to them, With desire I have desired to eat this Pesach with you before my suffering. For I say to you, I shall certainly not eat of it again until it is filled in the reign of Elohim. And taking the cup, giving thanks, he said, Take these and divide it among yourselves. For I say to you, I shall certainly not drink of the fruit of the vine until the reign of Elohim comes. And taking bread, giving thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. That's what it is. Do these in remembrance of me. It's not the death. He didn't ask to do the memorial of his death. No, the supper. The supper. Yeah. Remember why ye have done that. To whom ye have done that. and how to do it, the symbols, and what he talked to them about to do. He taught them to love one another, to look after one another. That's what he said, not his death, as Jehovah Witnesses are doing. I'm going to show to you again. That's why we have to be very careful. We need to be very careful. Look. Please join us for the annual commemoration of the death. Of the death. The death. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't really. No. That's why I keep saying to them, no, 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 no. See? It's wrong. He never said to them to commemorate his death. Commemorate, remember the supper, what we doing, what I'm doing, why I'm doing these. Not the death. The sacrifice, yes, okay, but before the supper, not the death. Keep doing these in remembrance of me. Keep doing these, not going, remember his death. No. Again, Jehovah Witnesses, they are being misled largely, and they cannot grasp it. Again, they cannot comprehend, because the men of the lead, they are absolute hypocrites, and they are misleading them, and they cannot wake up of that. Anyway, nothing more we can do. They keep saying too many about Babylon the Great, but I believe very much they are in Babylon the Great, unfortunately, and they don't want to change. Their problem. So, my friends, here he is again, another witnessing to you. I hope this can really help you and others with you, as helping myself, my family. So that's what I can say for you until now and for now. And I hope can have another opportunity to give another witnessing, another subject, possible next thing to do, probably resurrection. Yeah, I hope so. So until the next opportunity, with Abba willing, together with his son Yeshua HaMashiach and Ruach HaKodesh, Shalom.